here, you guys, is I'll call your name first, and I'm just going to give you an objection, and then I want you to overcome that objection, or how would you handle that objection? And I want to put a disclaimer out there. Just because they say this doesn't mean it works every single time. You're still going to run into people that you can't overcome their objections. It's just a part of the business. But what I'm trying to do for you today is to give you some insight on people who are selling at a high level, what they're saying to overcome these objections. Because you may be just 1 or 2 or 3 word tracks away from doubling or tripling your income. So I hope you guys get some value out of this. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start with Mr. Beto. You want to unmute yourself, my man?
Yeah.
So Beto gave the whole presentation, gave them the numbers. It's too expensive, Robert.
So it's too expensive, Gage. I totally understand it's too expensive. Now, Gage, what you're telling me here is with these health conditions, this prescription history, it's telling me that your family can't afford not to have this coverage. Now, how about we do this? How about we go ahead and lower this coverage? Because of what you're telling me right now, your family can't afford it. So what we can do is we can lower this amount, get something in place. Later on down the road, when finances get a little bit better, we can always add more coverage.
Man, I'm really wanting 10,000 though, man, but I just, it's just a little bit too expensive.
Hey, trust me, I understand. I want 20,000, people want 30,000, but the main objection is today is to get coverage in place for your family. Like I said, 5,000 is going to help your family for not having to pay for the full out of pocket of this funeral expenses. Like I said, later on down the road, if we need to add more coverage up to the 10,000, we always can. The most important thing today is to get some coverage in place than not having any coverage in place.
Boom. Smooth as butter, tonality the same. And the biggest thing I would say, you guys, with objections is you got to say something back as quick as possible, because you probably got a 3 to 5 second window until you completely lose the deal. But the quickest thing to do is to reply back so you can try to attempt to overcome the objection. Next, Jay. We went through the whole entire presentation, and I just need to talk to my spouse.
All right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Now, do you usually make decisions with your spouse, or you make decisions by yourself? How does that go for you?
I mean, I typically make decisions, but this is something I definitely want to talk to my spouse about.
Okay, all right, clear, understand that. So something ever happens to you, tomorrow, what would your wife do?
I mean, she'd probably be in trouble, man.
In trouble? Okay. You said you didn't have anything in place, correct? Before this?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything right now, man.
I understand. So she'd be mad at you. You put something in place today, and something happen to you tomorrow. Well, how would she feel? She feel like a relief on she'd have 10,000, 15,000 of coverage in place.
I mean, I definitely don't think she'd be complaining by any means, but I just know that with this price, I just think that it's something that I need to run by her.
Okay, so it's a price issue. Okay, so let's do this. My job is to find something that fits your budget and your needs. That's all. So what we're doing is we're touching from. A lot of my clients are starting at like 10,000 or 8,000, 10,000. Go from there, and then 3 months, 6 months from later on, we'll bump up the coverage if it makes sense for you. It sounds fair?
Yeah, no, that sounds fair, man.
Okay, perfect. Let me pull up this application, see what we could do for you, okay?
Boom.
All
so
right.
Once again, he figured out what the root problem was by asking more questions instead of just shutting it down and saying, yeah, let's set up another time for a callback. No, get to the root of the actual issue, which for me, it was price. So good job, Jay. I appreciate that. Jared, This is in the beginning of you giving the presentation. Man, they could just throw me in a ditch.
Yeah, yeah, Gage, they could do that. That's actually illegal. And whoever does that is probably going to get arrested and thrown in prison. However, I do have another alternative solution. You know, like I said at the beginning of this call, the main priority here is to make sure we find something that is within reason for your budget, and you know that could make a reasonable effort to take care of what you're looking to accomplish. So, you know, why don't we go ahead and just do this to give everyone a peace of mind, and we don't have to have anybody catching any charges over here. Why don't we just go ahead and start off with something small? Once we realize we can maintain that payment comfortably, we can always increase that in the future, assuming that your health condition hasn't changed. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, no, that sounds good, man. I'm just worried about the price.
Yeah, I understand. And like I said today, I wouldn't do anything to take any food off your plate. Our primary focus here is going to find something that fits within your budget. You know, no matter if you even have to start with just 2,000, at the end of the day, something's better than nothing. Ain't that right, Gage?
That's right, man, for sure. I agree.
For sure. So let me just go and get this pulled up, see if we can get you rolling.
Good deal. I think the important thing that you guys got to understand here is that people are going to say redonkulous things like they can just throw me in a ditch. It is going to be super important that you shut that down immediately. You shut stupidity down immediately. Throwing myself in a ditch sounds ridiculous. And you have to let them know it is ridiculous. Whether you'll get charges, it's unethical. Like, that's not even an option. So let's get that out of their head immediately.
But
So,
another thing is with that too, Gage, just to piggyback on that, is just keeping your composure. Like some people get hit with that, they're gonna freeze. Just kind of laugh it off and just keep it moving. Then you humanize yourself as well, and it kind of breaks down their walls at the same time. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, exactly, man. Good job. All right, Maricel. So you got me to commit to a number. We're in the application. You ask me for my banking information, and I say, I don't give out my banking info over the phone.
Okay, Gage, I totally understand, but have you ever written a check before to somebody?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so when you look at your checkbook at the very bottom, your routing and account numbers are on that check. So when you give somebody a check, you're automatically also giving them the numbers to your routing and account number. So why would that be any different on a phone call?
Well, I've had some people, screw with my bank account. It took a couple weeks to get the money back, and I just told myself I wouldn't do it again.
I totally hear you, Gage. I understand with the fraud and everything going on. I totally understand, but also just know that the insurance companies do this for protection because they do an automatic payment, and the most safest way to do that is by getting an account and a routing number, just because those are meant to be given out. I'm not asking for you to give me, your debit card information, because obviously with a debit card, anybody would be able to go online and, rack up Amazon or Walmart or, stuff like that. But with an account and routing number, sir, I'm not able to do anything. I won't be able to use any of your money in that sense.
Boom. It's hearing them out, breaking it down to them, make it make sense. And just a little piggyback off of that you could potentially also say is, sir, I'm licensed by the state of X. If I were to do anything with your routing or account number, you have my license number and you can report me to the Department of Insurance. And I love my job too much to be messing with your money. Does that make sense? So just another tidbit. I think what you said, it was perfect, Mar, but I also think there's another way of using your credentials to show them that they could actually, because no fraudster ever gave you their full name or license number, but that's why I've been transparent with you and giving you this type of information. So then if anything funky happened, you could take me down or get me in trouble. So good job. I appreciate that. All right, Beto. let's say we went through the whole financial inventory sheet, starting to give me numbers. Man, I saw something about that $9.99 on the TV. I think I'm just gonna call them.
Yeah, so I understand. Trust me, I see those commercials all the time, and I hate it because it makes my job so much harder. But when it comes to that $9.99, I'm just going to be straightforward with you, Gage, like you have been with me. That's obviously someone that's 18 years old and the perfect health conditions. But obviously, what we've already seen from here, you have this medication, that medication, and you're not 18 years old. Like I said, those are more like car salespeople. I'm not a car salesman. I'm here to just make sure we put this protection in place and it fits within your budget.
Boom. Once again, acknowledge, set to bed their concerns or their idea of this $9.99. To piggyback off of that, if some of you guys don't know, $9.99 is 1 unit of insurance. The unit of insurance is going to be based off of their age. I literally had this objection last week. I said, have you called? That's usually my way of overcoming it. Have you called them yet? No, I was just thinking about it. Or, I'm going to call them. Well, I'm going to save you some time and I'm going to save you some headache. Because as soon as you call them, now they have your information and they're going to be targeting you like crazy. We can actually pull up their rate calculator. Let me just type in Colonial Penn $9.99. And you can actually get a graph of the age and how much a unit of insurance will get them based off their age. I know some of you may not know that. That's why I wanted to share that. $9.99 is 1 unit of insurance. And you can literally, if you want to educate yourself further, literally Google Colonial Penn's rates or Colonial Penn's rate calculator, and you'll be able to literally break that down. And at 68, they're going to give you $580. So if we want to get to 10,000, we got to get, X amount of units. So instead of it being $9.99, now it's actually going to be $110.99 or something of that nature. A great job. I think it's important that you guys hear that one, because if you haven't gotten it yet, I promise you're going to get it in the future, because they play the hell out of those commercials. I've been in plenty of homes and that damn thing pops up on the TV. Good job, Beto. Jay. So you went through the presentation, you got me to commit to a number. Now we're doing the application. You asked me for my social. I say, I don't give out my social over the phone.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say how I say it. A lot of people might say, hey.
Keep it real.
Yeah, so do it again for me. My bad.
I got you. I don't give out my social over the phone, Jay.
Okay. For me to start this application, I'm going to need your social. If I can't get your social, I can't proceed this application. It's not even letting me do this. But like I said, my job is just get to submit the application, see if you even qualify, right? Because me just giving you these numbers or putting things in place doesn't matter. It doesn't help your family at all. But again, your information is safe. I don't want it. I definitely don't want to lose my license. But for me to submit this application to see if you get you qualified, then I want to need that information.
I think the most important thing you did there, Jay, is you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us backpedal when we get an objection and we're like trying to worry about like what we're gonna say. But if you just stand your ground and be who you are and be honest and authentic to these people, they're gonna feel that.
Right.
So I appreciate you.
I feel like also, like with me, ways, I know some people they have trouble asking for the social or bank. I don't have that. That's not really my issue on my end, because I'm just having a conversation with them, and then I'm looking for the people that want to buy into me and wants me to work with them. If you can't give me your route and account number, you don't feel safe with me, then I don't even want you as a client anyways, right? Because you're going to cancel and you're telling me that you're not even serious. So, I mean, get them feeling comfortable, knowing who you are, bringing the value of what you're doing to them, because you're serving them. Like they need your help. You need their help. You got your insurance. So that's how I look at it. And if you can't give me that information, then I mean, call me again when you're ready. I mean, I'm gonna keep on dialing. So
You hit a spot on, dude. They're buying you at the end
right,
of the day. They're not buying the life insurance. They're actually
correct,
buying your professionalism and your honesty, and they're trusting that you are telling them the truth. Because I think we've all, I shouldn't say all, but majority of us have run into a client who was lied to or told one thing and it's another just to make that sale.
right,
And I think you can separate yourself from a lot of the competition just by being you, because people are going to buy you.
correct.
You can buy all types of policies out there, but at the end of the day, they're buying the person that they're talking to. So great job, Jay. I appreciate that. Another one just to fire back on with that, as far as the social, Mr. Smith, I totally understand that you don't want to give out your social over the phone, but it is required on the application. So then they know who they're insuring. How do you expect them to insure Brian Smith when there's probably hundreds of Brian Smiths in the United States? So they're going to utilize your social security number to match with the death certificate so they can make sure they pay out the death benefit to the right person. Does that make sense? I think it's always key, you guys, to say, does that make sense? For a lot of things that you do in this business, it gives you a true measuring stick on if they're comprehending what you're saying to them. Because if you're just talking, you have no idea if they're actually comprehending what you're saying. So a great way to measure that, does that make sense? And sometimes they'll just say, yeah, to keep it moving. But a lot of times they'll say, no, that doesn't, or no, help me, no, reiterate that, or say that again. And now you know you may need to deliver the message in a different way, use a different set of words to help them comprehend what you're trying to get them to understand. Does that make sense? That's something that we all should be saying a good amount of times on the phone, in home, in the presentation. It's a true measuring stick. So great job, man. Appreciate that. I believe we're on, is it Mar or Jared? I'm confused now.
It's me.
Okay. So we get through the whole presentation, provide value, present the numbers, and I say, I can just save that, Jared.
Yeah, perfect, Gage. You know, and a lot of times people think that, but picture this, you know, you saving that money, you know, we all know how saving money goes. Life happens, right? Our refrigerator breaks down, our washer goes out, our tire goes flat. You know, things always come up in life where that's not that easy as said as done is saving that money. That money's always going out one way or another. So one way to ensure that this policy is going to be enforced and this protection is going to be enforced when the time comes and you need it is getting something in place like a policy. You know, you're going to pay pennies on the dollar a month for the type of coverage you need to take care of the final expenses that you're going to have when that time comes. You know, because I got to tell you, Gage, I've had plenty of clients in the past that, you know, said they were going to save and do the same thing. You know, then I get calls months, you know, a year down the road from old clients who had my card saved, you know, and I have to tell their family members that, you know, when I had helped Bill or Bob out, that, you know, they said they thought they would be better off saving that money. And, you know, I tried talking Bob, I let them know that I tried making that make sense to them. So not everybody understands that. But if you just think rationally for a minute, Gage, you know, saving money isn't as easy as we all think it is. Life does happen. So one way we can ensure that we have this in place and make sure these things are taken care of and they're not going to have GoFundMe sides out on the corner for you, you know, we can get something locked in today. And, you know, main focus is going to be make sure that it's something affordable so we can always start, you know, with something that we know we can maintain at the moment, and then we can always increase moving forward. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair, man. Boom. It's so important for you guys to put that in perspective for people, because I feel as if one of the biggest things people are worried about is paying too much into their policy than what they're actually going to get out for a payout. How many of you on this call, drop a 1 on the chat, have said, well, I'll save that up, or if I pay this for 5 years, I pay more into the policy. How many of you guys have heard that? Okay, so I'm seeing some ones in the chat, right? I think Jared nailed it right on the head. Another thing that I've done in the past, this definitely works in person because you can show it to them. Over the phone, it can work as well. But you take whatever the number is of the benefit, let's say it's 10,000. So I'm busting out my calculator real quick and I said, okay, let's do the math on that real quick. 10,000, or actually let's say $65 a month it is, right? Times it by 12, that's $780 in a year, right? So let's take 10,000 divided by 780. Mr. Smith, can you guarantee me that you're going to stay alive for 12 and a half years, let's call it, and every single month you're going to save this $65 every single month? Or can we agree that we can't guarantee that you're going to live another 12 years, and we can't guarantee that you're actually going to pay more into this policy? And I like to just use numbers to put it into perspective for them, especially when I'm in person, because I'll show them the calculator. And numbers don't lie. So it's another way to also quickly overcome that I can save that, or I'll overpay into that, or whatever. But I appreciate that, Jared. Mar.
Yes, sir.
We're on the phone. You're calling me. I'm no longer interested.
Okay, Gage. So I do have your information here. I have a date of birth of March 15th, 1950. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, perfect. And I have an address of 123 Wilshire Road, Oroville, California.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So when you were filling this form out, Gage, what was going through your head, or what were you thinking about?
Well, I just seen an ad online. It said I could get 100,000. I seen an ad online that said I could get $100,000 for $15 a month.
Okay, so you saw an ad, Gage. All right, well, sir, I am a licensed agent in the area, Gage. So my job is pretty much to give you the information to see what you can qualify for, Gage. Are you pretty familiar with life insurance?
A little bit.
Okay, so Gage, pretty much with life insurance, you do have to qualify for it, and that's got to be medically qualifying for it. And then also, so it's based on your age and health condition. So are you prescribed any medications right now?
Yeah, I got a couple of medications.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump on in there really quick. Do you have, any heart conditions, heart failure, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Are you a smoker? Have you used any tobacco in the past 2 years?
No, and I don't know why you keep asking me these questions. I said I'm not interested anymore.
Okay, Gage. So pretty much my job was, to reach out to you. I did receive this form. So, what changed, or, what made you not be interested anymore? Did you speak to another agent that gave you, it was too expensive, or what was going on?
It's just way too expensive.
Okay, Gage. So lucky for you, Gage, I am a broker. So I do work with over 33 different insurance companies. So, it only takes a couple minutes for me to get your information, and I'm sure we could, help you find something that's going to fit your needs and your budget.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then
yeah, let's go. You guys, can we drop 100 in the comments real quick? That was so good, Mar. Gage, you were on her with that one. I just wanted to show some love in here.
Why is my heart like?
This is hard, you guys, being put on the spot for these objections. A lot of these agents who are doing this right now, they may have kind of overcome getting these objections as far as in their career, right? Like you, in the beginning, they may have been getting these objections, but once you start to perfect your craft and your script, you actually stop getting a lot of these. Connor and I were on a call the other night and he ran through all of his telesales presentation. He's like, honestly, I don't really get that objection. Cause I was like, let me give you an objection. He's like, I don't really get that. Like, that's so true. So you guys being put on the spot like this, you think, they sound so smooth, but everyone's on here trying to bring a lot of value. So I just wanted to say, great job, Mar.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Ashley, appreciate it.
It's hard. It's harder doing this. It's harder doing it like this than on a call because it's just like,
That's for sure.
like you feel like you're on Jeopardy. You feel like you're on Jeopardy or something on a call. It's just like, what up, Tom? You know what I mean?
Oh my God. And
So,
Gage is doing a good job of just grilling them, because I know Gage is probably like, all right, how are they going to handle this one? Gage is like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not interested.
Yeah.
well, the crazy thing is, and why I kept going on with that, you guys, because you'll get people to stay on the phone. And if they stay on the phone, they're obviously not interested. They would have hung up the phone right away. But you kill them with more questions. You keep carrying on, getting them to answer questions. You maintain that control. And all of a sudden, you're still on the phone with them. It doesn't make any sense. It's because it's just a smoke screen. It's just a BS. They just want to see how you handle it. They want to see if you're a professional or they want to see if you're a rookie. And it's okay to be a rookie because you have the ability to turn into the professional. Because we are all rookies on this call at one point in time. And we all struggled with these same objections at one point in time. We've just made enough phone calls. We've done enough reflection. And we've a lot of times positioned our words to where we don't get certain objections anymore. But the only way for you to truly overcome objections confidently is to have opportunities to overcome objections. It's the only way. You're not going to get better at overcoming objections by dialing less. You're only going to get better at overcoming objections if you dial more. And the quicker you dial, the quicker you can overcome these objections. I promise you guys, all four of these agents are solid agents and have made a lot of money, but they're not that much better than you. They've just done it more than you. And they've used people around them to find out how to overcome these certain objections. They didn't just learn how to do it on their own. They didn't just hear some magic words on YouTube. They probably picked up the phone and asked, or they unmuted on Zoom and said, hey, what would you have said? Hey, I got this objection. What would you have done? And those are your biggest growth moments. But a lot of us don't stay humble enough to ask for help. We want to figure it out on our own, or we're embarrassed, or we don't want to bother somebody. There's nothing to be embarrassed about when you're starting off in this business. My hands are sweaty still, talking to you 3+ years in this business. I was making some calls yesterday. My heart was beating. Like, it doesn't go away. You just get used to it. I can't stop my hands from sweating. It's just who I am.
My hands were sweating when you told me those. I'm like, for real.
Hey, Gage, I wanna say a few things real quick. First of all, I think Booty said it best when it comes to the objection handling. The first 10 seconds is just keeping them on the phone for 20 more seconds. Then the next 20 seconds is to get them to understand what you're calling about and keeping them on the phone for the next minute. You know what I mean? And that's what the first bit of those calls are about, is just keeping them on long enough and breaking them down and getting them some body shots, soften them up before you can really just start to relay what it is you're trying to break down to them. You know what I mean? And I saw Booty said that, and he broke it down very well with that. But I wanted to use this one, and I don't want to steal your thunder, Mar, but this is actually one of my most favorite objections to handle, and do get that often. And still 75% of the time I get hung up on, but that other 25%, you're making strides. But when somebody tells you they're not interested, Okay, well, respectfully, Gage, how could you possibly know if you're interested or not yet? I haven't even begun to explain to you what it is that I have to offer. Now, Gage, let me guess. I'm just assuming that you're getting bombarded with calls, so you're probably extremely overwhelmed and annoyed by this. Am I right by that?
Yeah, you're right, man. My phone just doesn't stop ringing.
I get it, man. I get it. And one last thing I want to do is get on your last nerve. I'm sure that thing's priority smoke. But what I do want to do, Gage, is help you get a peace of mind and help you understand these products a little better. So you could sleep a little better at night knowing that, these things that may be stressing you out, they don't have to be stressful. This can be a weight lifted off your shoulder. And I promise you, if you just give me a little bit of time here, we find something that makes sense, you're going to feel a lot more relief after the fact. Now, Gage, if you just give me 10, 15 minutes, we'll see if we can find something that makes sense. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, man, that sounds fair.
Perfect. It should, that one, it should, and it's like when you hit them with that, like respectfully, Gage, how could you possibly know if you're interested or not yet? I haven't even begun to explain to you what it is that I have to offer. Just like that, in that same tonality, it hits them different because you're going to separate yourself. When it's like you're not begging them to stay on the phone, you're challenging them in a respectful way. You know what I mean?
You're using your professionalism to your advantage.
Right.
And you know what you're talking about compared to some of these telemarketers. You guys got to understand too, the demographic of leads that we're calling on. They're form fillers. Out of the 35 people that are on this call, how many of you in the last year have filled out a form? From an ad you've seen on the internet? Maybe a handful of you though.
I filled out forms.
Well, you're a form filler, dude. But I want you guys to understand that you're talking to people who are easily enticed to something that they see. Yes, there's going to be lead vendors that say $100,000 for 15 bucks a month. There's going to be ads that say, since you're a veteran, you'll get a discount. There's going to be all types of enticing advertising going on to generate these leads. But at the end of the day, they clicked on the advertisement because they know they could use life insurance. Whether it's a policy from you, whether they're shopping because they have a policy already, there's a reason why they filled out that form. Now, not every single person you're going to be able to help understand that it's not $15 a month for 100,000 and they're tired of all the phone calls calling them, but you just got to understand the demographic of people that we're dealing with. They're not just filling out the form or the ad that helped generate the lead that you were given. They probably filled out multiple ads because they're trying to win a cruise. They want to get a free Walmart gift card. They're people who are bored at home scrolling on the internet. Or you're going to run into people who say, hey man, I seen that ad, I really need this. It's going to be about 25% of the people. They may not say it that way, but they know they need it and they've seen the ad and they're ready to go. So if you can keep in mind that 25% of the people in your lead purchases or purchase amount, inventory, whatever you want to call it, want the information or want the policy, it's just up to you to get a hold of them, to provide them the information and make an educated decision. I think a lot more you will start buying more leads because you can trip, fall, and make a sale on a lead order of 40 leads. You don't even have to be very good, and you can get someone with a check taped to their forehead. And then you're going to get 25% of the people who, me, Jared, Beto, Billy, Ashley, none of us are going to sell them. They're just going to tell everyone no, because they are just genuinely curious about a price and they're actually not that interested in getting it. They just want to see if it was true. So at least 50% of the rest of the leads. And that's up to your skill set. That's up to you refining your skills to close down the rest of that 50%. Some people will get that up to 25. Some people will get it up to the 50 mark, and they're closing 75% of the leads that they get, something we should strive towards. But just understand that that 50% is based off your skill set is based off of your performance, and it's based off your ability to learn and implement things that are working for others who are having success. This business isn't that deep. It's really a rip and duplicate type of business. So I want to also ask Jay and Beto, because I think this is one that's a very common one. So we'll start with you, Jay. I'm no longer interested.
Okay. Now, when you were interested, what was you actually looking for?
I seen some ad online, man. Said I could get $100,000.
Okay. And what stopped you from getting that coverage?
Man, they're saying it's like $150 a month or something crazy like that.
Okay. Okay. And how many people have you spoken with?
Man, my phone keeps ringing, man. I can't even count.
Okay. Okay. And when you did the application, what was the results? Did you get denied? Did you what happened? You just didn't go
I'm
through
not
it?
paying $150 a month, man. You're crazy.
Okay. Okay. Well, I am a broker. I'm one of the regional managers out here in Texas. All right. So we can get these calls to stop going with you. What we'll do is schedule up a time. We'll find something to fit your budget and your needs. All right. Because that's what my main job is to do. We get these calls to stop calling you. Okay.
All right, man.
Is that something that you're open to do?
I'm just not paying $150, man. There's no way.
No problem. I wouldn't do it if I was you either. You know, if I was in your position. So, well, like I said, my job is just to find something to fit your budget and your needs, and make sure your family's taken care of. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, man. Well, we'll see, man. I don't know. Unless you're different than the rest.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, I work with all the A-rated carriers out here in Texas. All right. You probably heard of like Mutual Omaha and Prosperity. Kevin, you right?
Yeah, I've heard of Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, my job is simple. My job is to get the information out to you. That's all. So we'll figure out what time works best for you. I have a are you a morning person or evening person?
I'm a morning guy.
A morning? Okay. Okay. I have a 9 o'clock and I have a 10 o'clock. What time works best for you?
Let's shoot for the 9.
9? Okay. All right, perfect. I'm just write down my name. My name is Jay. And then my license number is going to be 1234. And then tomorrow I want to see you at 9 tomorrow. Now, do you have any medical exams, anything like that tomorrow in the morning?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Now, are you married or are you single?
I'm married.
Married. Okay. All right. And then will your wife, will she be there as well?
No, she'll be at work.
Okay. So she's gonna be at work, and since it's state regulated, I can't go out there by my without her being there. So what time actually works better for both of y'all?
I mean, she usually gets off around like 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm put you on my schedule for 5:30 or 6. What time works best for y'all together?
Let's do 6.
6. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll be driving this silver Chevy Impala. Now is that the same address, 123 Main Street?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Now is there any big dogs or gate codes I need to be aware of?
Nah, man. No dogs here.
Okay, okay, perfect. Just let the missus know I will be there. And tomorrow, what time would I be there tomorrow?
I think you said 6.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
Well, one thing about my man Jay, he gonna stay calm, cool,
Yeah.
and calm. I think tonality really does matter in this business, and how you respond back to objections with your tone really does matter. And I think that a lot of us don't really fully grasp that we do have a change in tonality at times, especially when it comes to objections. But the better you can maintain your tonality throughout the conversation, the better chance you got of them staying on the line and get an opportunity to book an appointment or give a presentation. So real quick, Beto, same thing. Call me up. I'm no longer interested.
Okay, Gage. Hey, I totally understand you're no longer interested. Now, what kind of got you no longer interested, Gage? Was it price? Was it coverages amount?
Just keep getting phone calls, man. It's annoying.
I hear you, man. I mean, I'm gonna do my job here, Gage. I'm just gonna keep it real sweet and simple with you. My job is here just to get you the information that you requested. I do represent over 33 A-rated carriers that would be available to you. Now, when you originally did fill this request out, Gage, something had you interested, and what was that? What made you originally fill this request out?
Well, I need to get some burial insurance, man.
Okay, great. So it looks like our main problem here today, Gage, is to kind of solve what we need to solve. Is that you're to cover the cost of your burial?
Yeah, that's correct, man.
Okay. And I'm guessing here you're like most of the clients that I do help, you're on a fixed income, probably receiving Social Security.
Yeah, man, things are tight. I can't spend that much.
Hey, I totally understand, man. I know things get tight as well. Well, the good thing about me here is that we actually get to tailor these programs. Most importantly, we need to get to tailor them to solve the problem we need to solve today, which is making sure your burial is taken care of. And 2 is making sure that fits within your budget. That's something that you're interested in, right?
Correct.
All right. Awesome. Well, Gage, can you grab a pen and paper for me? I'm going to have you take down my information. We'll get this knocked out for you today so you can stop receiving these phone calls.
Boom. Good work, dude. Once again, asking questions, acknowledge, move on. Acknowledge, move on. I understand you're not interested, but I'm doing my job. I understand you're not interested, but I got to get this information out to you. Acknowledge their objection, move on, back to the script. Great job, dude. I got a couple more here. Let me see. Should have marked these off. So let's say, Jared, you went through the presentation, you gave me the numbers. I just want to keep shopping, man.
Yeah, perfect. So Gage, remember at the beginning of this call when I had told you that I was a broker and that I work with all the top A-rated carriers? So basically what that does for you is I basically take the shopping out of the equation for you because I'm going to do the shopping for you. Now, I know you don't know me that well. We just met, but I am licensed with all the top rated carriers within this space. Any carrier that you're going to be with outside of this is not going to be AA rated by the Better Business Bureau, which means, you're always taking the chance of people defaulting on the payouts and things like that. Everyone that I work with is going to pay in a timely fashion and at the time when your family needs it the most. So, I mean, am I the first one you spoke to, or have you spoke to somebody else?
I spoke to another agent, and I mean, yours was a little bit better, man, but that's why I want to keep looking. I wonder if there's better prices out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, just that's in human nature. Everybody's always looking for the best deal. Me specifically, I go buy a car, I'm looking to get the best deal myself. But I can tell you with certainty here, Gage, today, if you're looking to get with a reputable company, there's no more reputable companies out there that are going to offer you more competitive prices than what I've showed you here today. And I will tell you this, Gage, what I would recommend is we get something in place. That way you have that peace of mind. If so happens to be something does come up where you can get a better rate, call me, let me know. We could get this one canceled and you'll be moving forward with that other policy. But I'll be the first to tell you that that's not a possibility that happens. I do represent the most competitive rated carriers with the best ratings by the Better Business Bureau.
Boom.
Does that sound fair to you, Gage?
Yeah, man. No, I get it. And it's just one of those things. Like I said, I talked to another guy. Now you're coming in with a lower price, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting the best price out there.
Totally. I understand. I'm going to treat you just like I treat my own family, Gage. I'm going to show you the best rates first. And me as a broker, what I'm going to do, God forbid, we don't get you approved with the preferred rate first with the best rating. I'm going to work for you and I'm going to go through these carriers until we do get you that best rate. Because at the end of the day, it's not really necessarily what you want or what you want to pay. It's what you can get approved for. And I want to make sure we get you the best price first.
Boom. Appreciate it, my man. One last one. Who wants to go? I'm not going to pick on anyone. Who wants to be the volunteer?
I'll take it.
Elias. Let's go.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh,
My hands are already sweaty, bro. I'm listening, but I'm trying to.
Let's
I'm
go,
trying to
Elaine.
speak. I know that all I can get is good feedback from this, so let's get it.
All right. So you're calling me. You're doing your introduction. Hey, man, can you call me later?
Oh, yeah. So actually, the purpose of this call was really just trying to introduce myself. I get you're a busy person, and so am I. I'm actually the insurance broker assigned to this request here. I wanted to find out what time works best with your schedule. Do we have 10 minutes right now?
No, man, I'm driving right now.
You're driving right now. Okay, perfect. Not a problem. So when do you typically get home from wherever you're coming from?
I should be home around like 5:30.
5:30. Okay, you know what, Gage? I'm not gonna lie to you. I am all tied up for the rest of the night, and I don't want to push this out. We're just gonna go ahead and ask you some basic questions here. Looks like your date of birth was July 19th, 1996. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. And I got your address here, 117 Delia Street. Is that also correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so now when you filled out this request here, looks like you were looking and trying to find some life insurance to protect your family. Is that a spouse, sibling, or children?
Man, I'm busy right now. I'm driving. I'm on the interstate right now, and I don't want to crash.
Okay, I totally understand, because if you were to crash, then that's going to be the complete opposite of what this conversation is about to take care of. But I want to make sure I do have some notes down here that I can make sure that when we do meet up again, I get you all taken care of.
Okay. Can you call me back?
Damn, you got me.
Oh, you're good, dude.
You got it.
5:30.
I appreciate you volunteering, man. Putting yourself on the spot. It's a true student mentality right there. I think the only thing that personally I would have done differently after you pushed through, which I like how you pushed through one time, but they give you more pushback. I am just looking for a commitment out of them on a time that I can call them back. Now, of course, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to answer, but at least I can now hold them to their commitment. And a lot of times you can give them a call back and they don't answer. You give them a call back again, they don't answer. And now when you do catch them, they have this sense of guilt. I don't know about any of you guys who ever done any field work, but someone sets an appointment at 5 p.m. They're not there at that appointment, and then you pop back by their house. They feel guilty for letting you down because they did tell you to come over at 5 o'clock. It's kind of like the same thing on the phone, not necessarily, but it is in a way. So you can make people feel guilty by letting you down or not abiding to their commitment. So
Hey,
obviously,
I think that's like.
Gage,
go ahead.
one of the things that I used to like to do, and when he verified that address, the guy was in a hurry, right? So what I would always do is I would tell the guy, okay, not a big deal. I got your address verified. Is a good time, 5:30 or 6 o'clock for me to call you back? If he says 5 or 6, and then I say, because he's in a hurry, so I'm going to act like I'm kind of in a hurry too. I'm going to say, it's not a big deal, man. If you don't pick up the phone, I'll just swing by when I'm in that area. And what you do then is you put them on like, oh shit, if I don't answer the phone at 5:30, 6 o'clock, this dude's just going to show up. So it makes them more apt to answer the phone. So as long as he doesn't ask where you live, it's good. But if it's Kentucky and you're in Texas, that doesn't work. But people don't want you to come by a lot of times. So if you tell them it's not a big deal, if you don't answer, I'll just swing by your house when I'm in the area, they're more reluctant to pick the damn phone up. Just my 2 cents.
I like that.